All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get started with this morning's Commissioners Court. Today's Monday, August the 11th already. It's 9 o'clock. This is our regular scheduled courtroom or district Commissioners Court meeting scheduled for today here in the district courtroom. If you'll please stand for invocation followed by a pledge. Commissioner.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we this morning thanking you for this day you've given us. We thank you for how you bless us with the rains. And Lord, we give you thanksgiving for how you restored the spring. We ask, Lord, that you continue to send rain, that all of the springs will be restored, creeks will be filled. Lord, we thank you for your gifts to us. Lord, we just lift up those who are saddened over the loss of loved ones, those who are ill, and ask your blessings upon them. We ask, Lord, that you would grant us wisdom and knowledge this day to carry out the business that we have. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. It's 9:01. We'll call the meeting to order. Noting that Commissioner Ferrick is the only one absent this morning. Departmental reports. Or first off, we got a public participation form, Ms. DeLeon, regarding item 4 on the agenda, grant updates. You're welcome to address commissioners this morning.
Yes, sir.
Step on up to a microphone there.
Microphone?
Speak up pretty loud.
Okay.
There you go.
Good morning, Judge Schuster and commissioners. My name is Abby DeLeon. I am here today not out of anger or personal grievance, but out of deep concern as a citizen of Kinney County. Over the past months, our county auditor has had some alarming failures that have jeopardized not only our county's financial health, but also the services and opportunities available to our residents. First and foremost, Kinney County lost over $518,000 in USDA grant funding, money that would have provided vital equipment like an ambulance, a skid steer, because she failed to submit a routine balance sheet by the deadline, despite being asked for it months in advance. That loss is not just a missed opportunity, it is a burden on our community, especially those who rely on emergency services. Beyond this, she has failed in the core duties expected of a county auditor under Texas law. She has not maintained up-to-date budget balances, leaving the county departments unsure of their financial standing. Over 200 invoices have not been properly paid, exposing the county to legal liability. County workers have been forced to pay work-related expenses out of pocket. Even essential services such as law enforcement communications, utilities for border surveillance, and emergency alert systems have almost been shut off due to non-payment. Worse still, county employees have described a hostile and unprofessional workplace environment. One former assistant has filed a grievance citing wrongful termination, discrimination, and surveillance violations. These are serious allegations. The role of a county auditor demands integrity, professionalism, and competency. Ms. Jones' track record, both here and in Wichita County, shows a troubling pattern. In Wichita, she left behind delayed payments, software access disputes, and even IRS penalties on unpaid payroll taxes. As a citizen, I'm not here to decide guilt or innocence, but I must speak when mismanagement threatens the welfare of our community. Public service is a position of trust. When that trust is broken, especially repeatedly, it's the responsibility of our elected and appointed leaders to act. With that being said, I sincerely thank you, Judge Schuster and commissioners, for your thoughtful consideration of employing a procurement officer under the Treasurer's office, with monthly audits conducted by an outside firm. Your commitment to solutions like this helps restore trust in our county government. Thank you for your time, your service, and your attention to this critical matter.
Thank you, Ms. DeLeon. All right, that's the only one that signed up to address the court this morning. Kinney County Agent, Mr. Allen's provided y'all a report this morning of his monthly activities. Also, the Aging Center, Ms. Yvette's provided the report for the month of July. Auditor, clerk, Community Center, don't really have anything. The school's been using it last week and this week for their back to school workshops and stuff, training for the faculty and staff. House Lawyer Wood, nothing to report, all right? Detention Center, warden. I do have a meeting with the warden in the morning at 10:30, I believe. No. EMC, more.
Currently 2 items only. That's coming up. I got the Red Cross that's reached out to me from Kerrville. We're gonna do a meeting on the 20th to evaluate our civic center, get a report, measurements, see what the accountability, how much we can fit in, if we have a mass care. And also, they have 3 other locations, school, one on Fort Clark, and then also the aging center. They'll about to evaluate those at a later time. And then I have Nick coming down to go to the meeting for the radios for me, since that's at the same time. So those are the only 2 items I got.
All right,
Anything else is still in the works.
thank you, sir.
All right, see you later.
EMS, Nick.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
We have our monthly report for July. We had a total of 40 calls. Out of the 40 calls, 21 were non-transports, 19 were transports. Went to Uvalde 6 times, Valverde 11, flew 2 patients out. We did not have any border-related calls last month, but we did have 6 second calls, so it's quite a bit out of 40 calls. Quite a few of them were second calls. Other than that, the only other thing I have to report is I'm doing an interview this afternoon for a part-time for an EMT position, and they are local, so that will definitely be a good thing, since all of us that are currently here live out in county, so it will be good to have somebody locally. So hopefully we'll be able to onboard them and add to our staff. Any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Grant updates, Ms. Westbrook.
Good morning, everybody. You should have, I believe you have a copy of my information in your package.
Get up to that, or get to this one over here, Miss Woodward. Try one of them.
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
The first grant update is the Stone Garden grant for the month of July or May and June. The total amount received was $72,096, and some cents there, but there was no fuel submitted for May or June. I didn't have the information when the FSR went in. That was sent in July, and that was for the months of May and June. The school resource officer grant, that for for June was 6446.71. Again, the hours that the deputies are at the school can be charged to that grant. Other hours cannot be charged to that grant. If they're not at the school, they can't charge those hours. The local border security program, LBSP grant, the vehicle was ordered in May. The parts have all been delivered. I spoke with the representative at Defender Supply last week, and the vehicle is scheduled to be delivered or to be ready the end of September, early October. Friday or Saturday, I submitted a grant extension, and that just needs to be certified. I've asked to extend that for 2 months so that we can make sure that vehicle's here, but we can get the invoice early and turn that in for payment. The Operation Lone Star grant, the FSR was submitted on the 22nd of July, and that was for the months of December through June. The amount submitted was $1,205,016.65. The total cumulative for the year for those 10 months was $1.642863338. So that was the total for those months. The reason it was sent in December through June was because that was on hold because of the previous year's audit. And this morning we received a payment for the 1.2 million that was deposited here. Other grants that are pending, Operation Lone Star. The new grant begins 1 September. The current grant we're on ends the 31st of August. So we only have about 3 weeks left in the current grant. I'm working on a budget adjustment today for that grant, and I'm going to request, based on the information I sent to you this morning to the sheriff, to extend that grant for 2 months if possible, at least that one item in there for pay for personnel support. Criminal Justice Grant Division for the School Resource Officer for next year, that is pending. That opens up 1 October. That grant is 1 October through 30 September of each year. Homeland Security, that grant is continuing. That runs through the 28th of February. Not Homeland Security, but Border Patrol contacted us and said that they were possibly getting another $140,000 to add in there for equipment. That has to be done on a FRAGO sent to Homeland Security for approval. We have not received any further information on that one. And then the Homeland Security LEPTA Law Enforcement Terrorism Protection Grant, that was also submitted, and that we will know if it's going to be approved. That would start 1 October, and that would be for the support for the tower, for the maintenance for the tower. And that would be for support from September of 26 through August of 27, if we get that money. Any questions? No questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Westbrook. Ms. Hobbs, grant updates.
Couple of things.
You'll have your little printer.
Yes. Well, I don't like it. On front and back.
All right.
Any of that. We all have glasses.
Yes, we do.
So not much has changed for us right now.
The two highlights are for the USDA, the ambulance, and the skid steer. We visited with USDA the other day, and Mr. Nick was on the call with us, and they don't have funds right now. The lady told us that the only amount that they can fund is $50,000. And you apply for that. It's competitive. You might get it and you might not. So we're just kind of on hold with that. Of course, the ambulance is almost ready. So what'd you say, October? October is when it'll be done. Of course, there is another grant that's going to be available for an ambulance coming up. That is,
Should be January 1st, will be in that spring.
yeah, and this one's through the state. So that one hopefully we can work on that as well. But we've submitted a couple of grants. We did one for Little League to help with the baseball park. We applied for 2 scoreboards, one for each field. The total of that was $49,800, and that was sent in to LCRA. So we'll know something on that one probably in September, whether we get funded for that. But we have the pig grant, the feral hog grant coming up. I think that's due on the 22nd of August. So we're working on that one. We still haven't heard anything else on the modification to the generator grant. We're just waiting to hear back on them from whether they approve our modification request or not. But that's about it for right now. One other one we did apply for was for the Hope Center. The UP, the Union Pacific grant, we applied for $30,000 for them on that one. And we'll be working on another grant for them this week for mental health. And it's through Methodist Healthcare Ministries. They were invited to apply for that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Any question? Indigent healthcare, you have that report in there from Ms. Gorf this morning. Also, the income from the judge's office for the month of July. Judge Villarreal has submitted her report for the month, the JP's office. Library also has a report in there for us for the month of July. Road and Bridge reports attached as well. Sheriff. Yeah, of course, this morning.
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 Not much really to report. We've got 16 in jail over in Kerrville. We've got some warrants coming down for locals for probation violations. They'll have to be taken to Kerrville, so that's going to bump our numbers up over there.
Kerrville or Hondo?
I'm sorry, Honda. Reach out to several counties this week, probably about 15 or 20 counties regarding housing contracts. Because with Operation Lone Star not allowing us to put them in Briscoe anymore, it's going to be incumbent on us to find a place to put them, along with the other 14 counties that are doing the same thing. Everything else has been fairly quiet, which is a good thing. So other than that, business as usual. Any questions? Thank you.
16 in Hondo, how many are OLS related?
6.
6 of them? Yes.
And once we get the bill in from there, I'll be submitting the paperwork to send to Carla. So hopefully we get reimbursed.
Perfect. Thank you, Sheriff. Tax assessor, nothing. Treasurer this morning, nothing. County attorney.
Nothing right now.
Okay. That'll take care of item 3 this morning, our reports. We'll start into items 4 this morning. Action or discussion on the following items. 4A is discussion of landowners compensation program presentation. I don't think they're here.
Yeah, see if they're here. We can skip back.
All right, let's go back. Countywide burn ban, have it on here again this morning. You already want to table it till next meeting, or you want to enact it? What's your feeling on that one? Approve a burn ban or table it? What do you think? The little short stuff is getting dry. The bigger stuff, it's not too bad, but it's, I mean, yeah, it's going to be some fuel. 2 weeks to the next one, or we can implement it today. I think we can probably make it till next time. I mean, I really do, but like the little short stuff is at the ranch, the little short stuff is starting to burn a little bit and everything. But the bigger fine grass and stuff, where the grass is pretty heavy, the fuel, it's for me still pretty green. It's not, it hasn't gotten real bad, but I burned this weekend. I burned Saturday, but I burned 6 piles and 4 of them were in where an old pile was. So it was already pretty clean around it. I just had taken more brush to it. So I think I'm good with leaving it off. We'll table it till next time unless somebody Commissioner Ward, how the fire department been pretty quiet as far as
They haven't been grass fires. Four-wheeler burned up. And then there was now they think about this recently. It's much fire. In residence, got a little out of control, but they really weren't what we describe as grass fires, rangeland fire. I would say if it doesn't rain between now and the next meeting, though, it is getting dry.
I agree with that. And then the next meeting on the 25th, be right before Labor Day weekend, we should implement a burn ban. Because, you know, a lot of hunters will be coming out. There'll be a lot of dragging chains on the highway and stuff. That's usually sparks a few things. But all right, well, no action on that one this morning. We'll have it on next agenda. Item C this morning is to approve and discuss merchant bonding company employee safety security bonds for Kinney County Clerk's Office. This is for Gentry Caldwell and Rick's office, the clerk's office. I'll entertain a motion to approve that. So moved by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Montalvo. Commissioner Montalvo, any further discussion on C? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Item D is discuss and approve proposal of $5,750 from Spatial Agency for additional enhanced features to the cemetery record system. Ms. Conley's not here this morning. I'm going to wing this one now. It's a request. Ms. Conley sent this in to be considered as some additional computer work and stuff done to the system they're having done. The goals will be to enhance, enable generation of printable reports from selected plots, provide digital purchase agreements with e-signature, automatically generate email receipts and deeds to purchasers, enhance mapping system with a veteran burial layer, and create an infield editing app for marking reserved and buried plots. So we can table this and try to get Ms. Conley here. I thought she was going to be here. Becky. That's what you thought.
I'd like to table it until.
All right. I'm going to have a motion to table it by Commissioner Dotson. Second by Commissioner Gustavo. Any further discussion on D? We'll move item. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We'll move it item D to August 25th. All right, item E. We'll whoop this horse to death here. Discuss and approve interlocal agreement with Nueces River Authority, including Kinney County and the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund, Nueces River Basin Study, include Kinney County, Nueces Watershed, and the floodplain map update, high hazard dam risk assessment, low water crossing prioritization, and early flood warning system. Cost not to exceed $166,380 with a 10-year loan option. So our annual payment would be $16,638. We've discussed, this has been on the agenda now. This is the third time, I believe. But we just, in the discussion that we've had before, it's that Nueces River watershed, which is basically that really through that northeastern portion of the county up there and stuff. And per capita, there's not a whole lot of folks that live there on a permanent basis. And so the discussion was to consider it and think about it again, whether we could enter into the payment plan like that and stuff. And we can do that. Be like a truck payment or a piece of equipment payment deal or something, but there's a lot of things we could do with that money. That was kind of the discussion last time. So
I lived up to 70 years. I never drowned. It's
All right.
common sense.
it is. Yeah. So,
I move we disapprove it.
all right. Motion on the table to disapprove item E by Commissioner Matavo. Second by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of disapproving item E this morning, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Item F then this morning is back to the Region 15 Lower Rio Grande Regional Flood Planning Group. Requested submittal for potential flood management strategies, flood management evaluations, flood mitigation projects for inclusion in the 2028 Regional Flood Plan. Possible projects of flood management evaluations, which include Las Moras Creek crossing and bridges within the city of Brackettville, as well as property acquisition along Las Moras Creek in the city of Brackettville. Proposals will be submitted by September the 19th and require engineers' information to include estimated costs and description of work and mitigation downstream impacts, shape file, including the project and watershed boundaries. Ms. Hobbs. This one.
This one. Yeah, so this one is us trying to move forward to be included in the Region 15 flood plan, which that is Las Moras Creek west and of the county, which, well, I shouldn't say it's Las Moras Creek. It's a little farther east that all of that runs west. So that's pretty much the area where most of the population is. We were hoping that at some point we can get a project approved to work on the creek within the city of Brackettville. Our biggest concern, or probably the biggest detriment to getting that done, is the fact that when we do work on the north end of the creek within the city, it's going to impact below unless we can come up with a project to work on the crossings and the things like that in the city, maybe dig out the channel more, deepen it somewhat, put in retention ponds, whatever we can do to help not let the flow go down the creek in flooding situations so much where that it would affect what is below the upper area. Starting in the upper area of the creek is not what was recommended on our study that was completed. You know, we talked about starting at the bottom end of the area and working there first so that it would not cause flooding to a lot of, problems to a lot of people. So what Region 15 has going on right now is they have an opportunity for counties to submit an evaluation project. They're called flood management evaluations. And so what that is you have your project, whatever it is you decide that you want to do for flood mitigation. And you have it evaluated by an engineer, and they create, it's not like what the project needs, not if you were doing the construction side of it, it's the engineering side. What is the proposed cost? What do you think? They have to come up with a cost. We have to have drawings for it to be submitted as well. So the next item does include engineering costs. And so the evaluation, possibly with Region 15 or the Texas Water Development Board, they are thinking that they will submit these evaluations for funding through Texas Water Development Board. So we have until September the 19th to get something sent in. If we want to have this project evaluated by either Region 15 hires or by Texas Water Development Board. And so we either need to decide we want to move forward with having a project or not. And then the next item is I visited with Mr. Dirksen about these evaluations, and he was on the call with us to Ann Whitco, for the regional flood planning group, the engineer that does most of their work for the actual plan. And so he understands about what the flood management evaluation is. I believe he's visited with Mr. Barker that did our big study with HydroLink, the hydrologist, to get an understanding of the cost of what the evaluation will be. And so he kind of helped us get the information together as far as what we would need.
And this Region 15 proposal for study deal or work to be done,
Mhm.
uh, they wouldn't just work directly with the city of Brackettville? Since you're talking about this within the city of Brackettville, Las Moras bridges and crossings, property acquisitions and so forth in the city of Brackettville.
They would.
Why does it come across to our table? That's what I'm asking. Why would it not be more, this would be more just a city project rather than a county-based project? But I mean, I'm just asking,
Yeah.
are they willing?
It could be either. Either one of the entities could they call it a sponsor. Either one of the entities could be the sponsor of this project. My feeling would be that we would probably need to have an interlocal with the city of Brackettville, not only for working within the city, but hopefully to get some cooperation and maybe shared funding of, the match amounts or things like that that are needed. The cost for the evaluation project as well. It was a little more than what Alma and I were thinking that it would probably be, but that Mr. Dirksen gave us an estimate, which was 60,000 to get the evaluation project done by September the 19th. So it's
They didn't give them much time.
no.
The engineering work that he has already provided, will some of that be what we describe as usable?
I really don't know that he would be able, and maybe some of it, yes. But so previously, when we visited with the engineer from Region 15, the study that was done as a whole, from the dams to down below Fort Clark. And so everything in the study looks at that as one big project. And they're thinking for us to be able to get projects included into the flood plan for Region 15, we need to break it up. And realistically, we can't do all of it at once. So realistically, we would need to have separate projects. And that's what this will do, is the evaluation of just this portion of what was done by Mr. Barker. Do I think there's probably information in there that Mr. Dirksen can use? Yes. Or any other engineer that would be needing it for the work. And we have forwarded that information to Region 15, to the engineers there. They are not going to do per se our engineering work. They're there to take all of this information from all these different communities and put it into the plan, but they have to make sure that it meets all the specifications of the Water Development Board to be able to be included. And so for us to get to that point, their suggestion was that we pick a project, a portion of everything that has already been looked at, and try to get that included as an evaluation. So that means that we send it in with some engineer's information that says, this is what all you need to get done for Highway 90 to the dams, because we can't do anything to the dams. So having that and then getting it to them so that the whole of that project can be evaluated by Region 15, Texas Water Development Board, to then be included in the flood plan for 2028.
With respect to the watershed dams, the site one, of course, is west side, which is the largest. We had talked about cleaning up the ownership. And I think that should be eligible because it's not what we describe as involving any type of structure repair or
Right.
additions to the structure, even though in their assessment of the dams, they wanted more topsoil
Mhm.
on top.
Exactly.
So they would have to be in charge of that. And whether we're able to help them with that or not
Mhm.
remains to be seen. But I would think that whatever we could do to clean up the ownership on site one of the what we describe as the spillways
Mhm.
would be a real important place to begin.
And we did put acquisition into the agenda item as another project that could be something that we need to take on.
And then as far as the ownership of the stream itself, I know that Mr. Dirksen was to furnish the ownership.
And he did,
So we have that.
right?
So, and thinking of what we could possibly begin with, I think those would be really important to begin with, determine ownership. And if that is an eligible project and we could get perhaps help doing that, that would help is, in my opinion, the first step.
I think whenever we brought the different projects to the commissioners, acquisition and was one of the top priorities for us to
Have to do that before you can really go further.
right. And so I think for that we're pretty well set because Mr. Dirksen did go through and identify all the ownership along the creek area in town.
And I don't know if that's large enough for the purpose of the application,
Mhm.
but what would be the next step, in my opinion, would be the utilities that would be affected and perhaps have to be altered to accommodate and the work that might need to be done there. So, in my opinion, we should, try to do the very beginning portion, which would be ownership determination, acquisition.
Right. Mhm. Okay.
So what do you need in the way of?
Well, I don't think that would be the evaluation, something that we could send in for a flood management evaluation. I think what they're looking for are projects that would be mitigation, like retention ponds, detention ponds, working on the bridges within town, raising them, making them all uniform, maybe to help with flooding during any kind of a large flood. And which way do we need to go with that? Do we need to raise them? Do we need to lower them? That kind of stuff. And of course, I think the utilities would have to be part of that, just because once you do something with the bridges, the utilities are there. So that would be definitely something we would have to address as well as part of it.
So we're talking about actual construction.
We're talking about trying to get a project evaluated that would end up being construction.
Evaluation process.
Utilities,
The utility lines in the tree.
well, that really doesn't have anything to do with flooding. So this is all about flood mitigation. So our project needs to have something to do with flooding, whether we want to install retention ponds, as we had talked about, doing something with the bridges, and then it's going to lead to working on the utilities as well, if we do something with the bridges in town. But it has to be a flooding project to be included with the flood. It goes into the regional flood plan, and then from there it can get put into the state flood plan. And that way funding can be considered. So for us to get started on anything, we have to go through all these steps to eventually get to the end point is the state plan. Now, the regional plan is due in 2027. So it has to be completed by the region and then submitted to the state to be in the state plan, which is due 2028. So this is just one of those first steps trying to get all of the information in and to a point where it's usable in the regional plan as a project. I think ideally, if we had more time, that, the thing we could have done or should have done was include the city in these conversations to find out where they are on, but when she said they're due September the 19th, we were like, we don't have that much time. So, and I don't know if that's, maybe visiting with the mayor and finding out if the city would be interested. I know they're probably going through budget work right now as well.
I would like to see them have some, be a cost share deal.
Mm-hmm. And I think the way Ann Whitco said it to us is it's not really, it doesn't really matter which entity or sponsor is what they called it is going to apply. I think the interlocals would be allowable in all of that. Whichever was the one that was going to apply for the project. So since the county is the one that has the overall plan that was done by Mr. Barker, that's kind of what it's attached to. And I wish I knew more to kind of give you information on this, but we've visited with her several times and tried to make sense of it for ourselves because, we're not, we don't speak all that engineering stuff that they have to have. So just going on what we could get from her to try to share with you and where it would go. And again, you know, like Brent made a good point last meeting that if we ever get to have a legislative session, then maybe there'll be some flooding dollars available for things. So I don't know, but this is what we know right now as far as what the steps are and where we have to go with it to try to get any projects into the plan.
All right.
And the reason, I'll say, the reason we talked to Mr. Dirksen about it was because we didn't feel like we would have time to approve having an evaluation and then going out for bid, you know, all that. And we had no idea what this would cost. I mean, we didn't have any way of knowing what kind of number to put on it for someone to do this work, to have it ready by September the 17th to submit. So, and he was also familiar with the information we already have. So, do y'all want me to do something different, to contact somebody, get more information? Do you want to try to get in touch with the mayor? And
So real estate acquisition is not what we describe as eligible project for now. Everything is contingent upon that. Even if you develop whatever for the city of Brackettville, it's going to involve, you know, there are sections that are owned by the
city, right? And the county too, I think, isn't it?
County might a few of the lots, but
Right.
city owns the majority of it. But I think for us to, I guess, if you eliminate, you know, the real estate acquisition, then you go to what's next. And if it is construction, then of course, you know, the vision is to get rid of the stagnant water holes, and that's what our you know, main objective is to not retain that stagnant water. And I know there's been a lot of complaints about the mosquito. So, you know, in my opinion, it's mine. You know, obviously, if we're going to have to own what we work on, then we're going to be limited to that. And I know there's sections that more than a block length that are owned by the city or the county, but that would just be a section, you know.
Right. It wouldn't include the whole channel within the city.
And then those areas on the downstream side of Cyclone, again, the west side, we don't own all of that either. We have, you know, the flowage easement, but we don't own the what I describe as the overflow and areas.
So,
Spillways.
so do you want me to go out and call her and just kind of table this for a minute and see if I can ask about the acquisition? And if that's something we could start with instead of the project itself, or maybe include both of them as one evaluation, and then come back to it.
do that.
I'll see if I can get in touch with her and ask her to help us figure that one out.
All right, so let's put that one on hold right quick. Your grant updates, item H, we went through a while ago, we went over a while ago with Ms. Hobbs. Item I is, settlements that are coming from Briscoe that, has to deal with three different, companies. It's the settlement terms with Purdue and certain of its affiliates in the Sackler family. And two is Sondos Incorporated, Sondos Subdivision Settlement. And three, Alvagen, Eminil, Pato, Hikma, Xavier, Milan and Son, and Zidus, known as Alvagen, and authorizing the county judge and other or other authorized officials represented to execute the settlement participation and release warrants regarding settlements in the matter of opioid multi-district litigation for the county in the matter of national prescription opiate litigation, MDL number 117 MD 02804. And these came, like I say, from Briscoe's office the other day to just sign the county up and authorizing the county judge as the official representative to execute it and return these forms back to him to get filed with the state in this settlement of this lawsuit.
It's kind of like the tobacco settlement.
Yes, sir.
So moved on item I.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dotson, second by Commissioner Ward on item I. Like I say, it's the three settlements, three participation forms for Kinney County. Alvagen participation, the Purdue participation, and Sendos participation as well. I'll pronounce that. Any further discussion on item I? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Item J is discuss, approve, disapprove a motion to make a budget amendment for the 24-2025 fiscal year to move $5,000 from 010-5280000500 Civic Center equipment to fund 010-2800-0647 Civic Center electricity. Entertain a motion for that budget. Motion by Commissioner Ward to approve, second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion on J? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next one is another budget adjustment. Item, approve a motion to make a budget adjustment for the 24-25 fiscal year to move $1,500 from 010-2502-1001 Parks and Recreation Equipment to 010-2502-50505 Park and Recreation Supplies. So moved by Commissioner Tavo. Second by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Another budget adjustment. Is item L this morning. Motion to make a budget amendment to the 24-25 fiscal year to move $1,000 from 010-2050-0507 County Judge Office Furniture to 010-2050-0647 County Judge Cell Phone. And this is all the cell phones that my office pays for. So moved by Commissioner Matavo. Second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. All right, item M this morning is to approve a motion to accept an in-kind donation of $8,000 worth of services from IT Pro Advisors. And this is work done that Chad and his team have done. It's just donating services to the county. In order for it to be recognized, we have to accept the donation. Correct. All right. So moved by Commissioner Dotson, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Give you all those. All right, item N this morning is the motion to discuss entering into a contract with Montgomery County Jail for inmate housing for Kinney County Sheriff's Office.
I haven't received the contract yet, so I'll probably have to table that for today.
Okay. Put it on for the 25th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Entertain a motion to table item N. So moved by Commissioner Dotson. By Commissioner Matavo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. So tabled in to the 25th. All right. Discuss and approve advertising for IT directors or part-time position. I put this on there this morning to talk about this. We consider an IT spot for the county. Maybe creating a spot and calling it a director instead, to giving them a little bit more ability to make phone calls on behalf of the county, work on items and stuff. It also is satisfying with TAC that we had a director on the board with us for our insurance purposes and things like that. But just to come up, talk about it, say we move it to executive session, discuss it a little bit more and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to say this morning on that. Move item O to executive session. Talk about the funds and so forth of it. Come out of executive session and take action. Have some minutes there for you this morning. 2 sets of minutes from July 14th and July 28th. We'll look at July 14th first. The minutes for July 14th. Have a motion to approve the July 14th amendment, the minutes by Commissioner Dotson, second by Commissioner Matavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Next set of minutes will be from July 28th. Adam E., they worked on the air conditioners here upstairs the other day, cleaning the coils and stuff, and then one drip pan was rotted out, leaking or whatever, so they rebuilt that and everything upstairs up above us and so forth. So we'll see if I took care of the jury room, see if that helps that jury room. All right. Have a motion by Commissioner Ward to approve the July 28th minutes that's presented.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, request for departmental budgets, adjustments and review and amend. Did that already. There. Item 6. Item 7, approve the bills and disbursements after the Kinney County Detention Center. There are none this morning. Examine and ratify the bills, claims, including payroll, for Kinney County budget 2024-2025. You have those in front of you this morning.
Jackson. Cheryl's gonna rerun the check. Because it was supposed to be $52.
Which one?
Jackson, maybe?
Mhm.
So I just want to tell her. The invoice we provided, which,
What's the included the late one too?
yes.
Pay the bills. All right, I have a motion to pay the bills by Commissioner Dotson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, noting that Commissioner Dotson and Commissioner Ward abstain on their payments. All right, Ms. Hobbs.
I got an email back from her. She's in another meeting.
Okay.
And she said she'll call back as soon as, she's out of that one. So are y'all having an executive?
Yes, we're fixing to go into executive session.
Okay. So maybe I can, knock on the door or something, whatever.
Okay.
I hear back from her, but she knows at least that we're meeting to visit.
All right. Other items pertaining to county business. This past legislative session, there was a bill passed that the agendas will be required to be posted 3 business days in advance instead of 72-hour rule. So 3 business days, so that'll back our postings up to Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock for our agenda. So the cutoff for items would be probably Friday, that Friday before or something like that, maybe Monday. I don't know yet what we got, but just to give y'all a heads up that do you want to leave our meetings on Monday As we start a new year, do you want to move them? Do you want to leave them at 9 o'clock? Just something to be thinking about. If we leave them as is, like they are right now, that's the norm. The second
Monday at night.
second and fourth Mondays at 9. It's just going to back, instead of having a 72-hour rule, they're going to have a 3 business day rule. So they'd have to be posted by Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. Is that right, Becky? So just kind of change a little bit in-house things for us, but just to give y'all. Okay. And that begins the September meeting, right? Begins September 1st.
So that gives 5 days, 3 business days.
Yeah, and the weekend. So instead of having a 72-hour rule, we're going to go to a 3 business day rule. So,
And the website, same thing, posting.
yes.
Agenda item. Request cut off will be Monday.
So you want to have it Monday, you want to have it Friday? You can do, you want to do it by noon on Friday? Is that okay with everybody? Have the agenda item to be posted or whatever, discussed, have a deadline of noon by Friday? Oh, you can do
Well,
noon.
right now, I there's
What?
cut off is Wednesday. And then I usually just have the.
What about Monday?
Monday by noon?
Mhm.
Okay.
Things happen over the weekend.
We'll send that out Monday. We'll send that out, but that'll start with our September meetings. And stuff, the 3-day rule. It goes into effect September 1. So we'll do Monday at noon for postings, agenda items and so forth. So,
So a special meeting would come under the same rule,
yes, sir.
and an emergency meeting hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed. Emergency meeting hasn't changed. All right, so we'll go into, we'll take a short break. We'll go into executive session. Personnel matters, proposed meeting be held pursuant to 551074 government code in order to discuss personnel matters. And also closed session meeting pursuant to 551071, 551129 government code consultation with attorney for commissioner's court, consult, seek advice from his attorney regarding matters described on the agenda posted for this meeting. So with that being said, it is 10:19, recess. So we'll discuss items in executive session regarding personnel matters also. We'll come out of executive session, and then maybe by then Ms. Hobbs will heard something regarding item. What was it? Items F and G. All right, let's take a little 5-10 minute break, and then we'll go into executive session.
Run.